Rachel Lamb, who has been reporting on this Out Loud podcast. Her words were that Pete and his wife were exonerated after meeting with you. That's her words.
No, that's absolutely not true. I couldn't exonerate anybody if I wanted to, but I certainly didn't say that to them or to anyone. So, no, that was not the case. When you are doing forensic counseling, you gather information from everybody. You would want to talk to the father and to the mother, to other children in the family, grandparents. You know, that would allow you to give a much wider and wiser opinion to the court.
Did you ever get a call back from Pete or his wife asking or requesting another meeting?
No, I did not.
Debbie, I don't know if you would be able to confirm if you've ever been able to speak to Rebecca and JW about the letter that he wrote to Miss Denise Boggs. JW reportedly has written a letter with grave concerns regarding Pete. Were you ever able to see them?
No, I have never seen them or spoken to them as far as I know. I've never seen the letter.
Did you ever receive a call from Joni or Marcus Lamb to get your opinion on anything?
No, I have never spoken to Marcus, and I have never spoken to Joni.
Did the Lambs compensate you for your professional work?
No, they did not.
If there were to be charges laid, would you testify in front of a judge?
Certainly.
The story has taken another turn as an independent reporter steps forward with revelations that could demolish a dynasty built on faith and family. Can Joni Lamb survive what's coming next? Stay with us until the end. You won't believe what's been uncovered. Joni Lamb, co-founder of the Daystar television network and a fixture in Christian media for decades, has built a reputation on an unwavering commitment to faith, family, and truth. She and her husband, Marcus Lamb, launched Daystar with a vision of creating a global platform where believers could be encouraged, challenged, and equipped to live out their faith. Over the years, Daystar grew into one of the world's largest Christian networks, broadcasting in dozens of languages to millions of homes. Joni's public persona, warm, compassionate, steadfast, became inseparable from the network's identity. Yet the very values she championed are now at the center of a controversy that threatens to dismantle the Lamb family's credibility. At the heart of this unfolding drama is Joni's daughter, Rachel Lamb, herself a rising personality within the Daystar circle, whose recent statements on the popular Out Loud podcast sent shockwaves through the network's community. In a conversation intended to reassure viewers and listeners that serious allegations against family friend Pete and his wife had been definitively resolved, Rachel declared that a forensic counselor had exonerated the couple after a private meeting. She spoke with confidence, emphasizing that the so-called exoneration should put an end to any lingering doubts. Behind the scenes, however, the counselor in question was equally surprised, because she had never offered, nor had she claimed, the authority to clear anyone of wrongdoing. When approached for clarification, the counselor made a simple but damning statement. I couldn't exonerate anybody if I wanted to. That's not my role, and I never said that to them or anyone. In professional practice, exoneration is a legal judgment issued by a court following a rigorous judicial process, something far beyond the purview of any individual counselor. The counselor's categorical denial struck at the core of Rachel's narrative and instantly reframed the public conversation. Rather than closing the chapter on this controversy, Rachel's assertion only deepened the mystery and raised critical questions about who had said what, when, and why. To grasp the magnitude of this contradiction, consider the context in which Rachel spoke. On a network where millions have tuned in for years to hear testimonies of deliverance, healing, and moral clarity, such an announcement carries tremendous weight. Viewers trust the Lamb family implicitly. They look to Joni and her children as living examples of faith applied to everyday life. When a member of that family proclaims vindication, the audience assumes it has passed through rigorous vetting. Yet in this case, the vetting was either fatally flawed or entirely absent. As the exoneration claim unraveled, attention turned to a piece of evidence that everyone assumed would support the family's position. A letter reportedly penned by J.W. Lamb, Pete's own relative, addressed to Denise Boggs. According to believers in the Daystar community, this letter contained grave concerns about Pete's conduct, concerns that, if genuine, would have given weight to allegations circulating online. Yet the forensic counselor admitted she had never seen any such letter, nor had she ever discussed it with J.W. Lamb or with Rebecca, another family member said to be involved. "I have never seen them or spoken to them as far as I know. I've never seen the letter," she stated. The absence of this letter is significant on multiple levels. First, it suggests that a potentially crucial witness, or at least a key document, was never brought into the investigative process. Why, then, was it not produced or even mentioned when the counsel was engaged? Was it misfiled, lost, or intentionally withheld? Each possibility poses its own set of troubling implications. If the letter was simply overlooked, it reflects gross negligence in handling a matter with profound personal and reputational stakes. If it was deliberately concealed, it suggests a calculated effort to shape the narrative, to keep facts hidden from the very people who deserve transparency. Either way, the omission compounds doubts about how the Lamb family conducts its internal affairs when under scrutiny. The counselor's testimony also revealed another discomforting detail. Neither Joni Lamb nor her husband Marcus had ever actually spoken with her. Despite being the network's founders and the most visible figures in the family, they did not personally engage the counselor or follow up on her findings. "No, I have never spoken to Marcus or Joni Lamb," she confirmed. Given the seriousness of the allegations and the counselor's role as a professional evaluator, such a lack of direct communication seems inexplicable. It's standard practice in any scenario involving potential criminal or civil liability to maintain clear lines of dialogue with experts. Yet, in this instance, the Lamb silence speaks volumes. Equally puzzling is the fact that Pete and his wife themselves did not request any follow-up sessions. Professional consultations typically involve multiple meetings, especially when sensitive issues require thorough assessment. That they did not pursue further evaluation undercuts the notion that they were eager to clear their names. When listeners to Rachel's podcast heard that the matter was resolved after a single session, they accepted it at face value. But knowing now that there was no subsequent engagement reveals a superficial approach, one more concerned with the appearance of resolution than with substantive closure. Perhaps the most startling revelation came when the counsel was asked whether she had been compensated for her work. Professional ethics and basic courtesy dictate that service providers are paid for their time and expertise. Yet the counselor's response was unequivocal. "No, they did not pay me for my professional work." That admission underscores a pervasive disregard for formal process. If a family so prominently committed to principles of honesty and integrity fails to honor a professional's contract, what message does that send? It suggests that the counselor's role, and by extension, the investigation itself, was not treated with the seriousness it deserved. In the midst of these conflicting accounts, an independent internet reporter took on a role many felt the Lamb family should have played. This journalist, without the backing of a major network, embarked on a meticulous fact-finding mission. Sifting through podcast transcripts, emails, and public records, the reporter sought to piece together an accurate timeline. Their work culminated in a series of articles that systematically dismantled Rachel's exoneration claim and highlighted the missing evidence. By securing on-the-record statement from the counselor, the reporter provided clear documentation of what was and was not said. In doing so, they fulfilled the fundamental journalistic duty to hold influential figures accountable. The fallout from this expose has been swift and, for many, disillusioning. Daystar television network, which once inspired confidence in its audience, now faces a crisis of credibility. Viewers are asking whether the network's public devotion to truth extends beyond its programming into its own internal affairs. Critics point to a pattern. When inconvenient facts emerge, are they genuinely addressed, or are they downplayed until the spotlight moves elsewhere? If the latter is true, the network's integrity is undeniably compromised. To rebuild trust, the Lamb family must embark on a path of radical transparency. First, they must release any and all documentation related to this matter, emails, letters, session notes, anything that sheds light on the process. Acknowledging mistakes is never easy, but doing so publicly demonstrates a commitment to accountability. Second, they should engage independent professionals, legal experts, counselors, and investigators, to conduct a thorough review with findings made accessible to the public. Third, Joni, Marcus, and Rachel should directly address the inconsistencies in their statements, offering a clear explanation for how and why the exoneration claim was made in the first place. For the broader Christian community, this scandal serves as a cautionary tale. In an era when misinformation can spread rapidly across social media, the responsibility borne by leaders is immense. Followers look to these figures for moral guidance. Any misstep not only damages individual reputations, but can erode trust in institutions that many consider sacred. The insistence on narrative control, presenting a story in the most favorable light, even if it bends the truth, ultimately undermines the very values these leaders profess to uphold. At the heart of this controversy lies a fundamental question. Can a community rooted in truth remain healthy when it privileges image over authenticity? Joni Lamb's legacy, like that of any public figure, will be defined not solely by her accomplishments, but by her response to adversity. Will she and her family choose to embrace full accountability or double down on a defensive posture? The answer will determine whether Daystar can emerge from this crisis with its credibility intact, or whether the network will be forever tainted by doubts that its leaders were more concerned with spin than with transparency. As viewers digest the unfolding events, they must also examine their own role in holding leaders accountable. Viewership alone is not enough. Engagement, asking hard questions, seeking documentation, demanding clear answers, is the true test of a healthy community. The internet reporter who brought these inconsistencies to light exemplified this principle, demonstrating that independent scrutiny is not adversarial but essential. The collapse of the exoneration narrative is a reminder that truth, no matter how persistently obscured, has a way of emerging. For Joni Lamb and the Daystar television network, the road ahead will not be easy. It will require humility, a willingness to confront uncomfortable realities, and a steadfast commitment to rebuilding trust. But if they rise to the challenge, they have the opportunity to model the very principles they preach, that truth and integrity are worth defending, even when it's difficult. In closing, this episode underscores a timeless lesson. Authentic leadership demands transparency. When leaders falter, it is not the fall that defines them, but the manner in which they rise again. For the Lamb family, the eyes of the world remain fixed upon them. Their next steps will speak volumes, not only about their own character, but about the kind of truth they are willing to uphold. The question now is whether they will seize this moment to demonstrate genuine accountability, or whether history will remember this chapter as the beginning of the end for a family once synonymous with unwavering faith and integrity.